Joe. is it Yo Joe or Go Joe? I just spent about 5-10 minutes trying to figure that out on the interwebs, my friends. I'm gonna go with Yo Joe because it goes with my channel. Yo Joe, check it out. We have a G.I. Joe collab between Hasbro and Wargaming, and what that has done is brought two really cool, actually, 3D skins to the game. Now, I am not a huge 3D skin, other than historical kind of person, but I will say these are fantastic because it really brings you back, man. It brings you back. Back in the day when I had G.I. Joes. So the whole G.I. Joe Cobra thing was a little bit past my time. When I was a kid, it was the 12-inch, I used to call them full-size G.I. Joes. The action figure with the articulating arms. And, you know, some of them you could see through their eyeball. There was a Steve Austin $1 Million Man version. Some of them had the Kung Fu grip. Eventually some of them talked to you. And remember the felt hair? It was really... The hair was weird, wasn't it? It was cool and weird at the same time. Some had plastic hair. They had all kinds of gear, all kinds of weapons, uniforms. There was a Joe for every version. It was crazy, you know. And I was sitting there thinking about it, saying to myself, you know, back in the 70s, mid 70s to early 80s when you were doing this, really the 70s. When I was that age of G.I. Joe, kind of playing with the toys, that was like the 70s version of Rust. You know what I mean? You had a neighborhood with all the kids, and they all probably had a G.I. Joe or a couple of them. And every G.I. Joe came with some equipment, and there were G.I. Joe vehicles and camp setups, and you had other toys that had a bunch of stuff with them. So basically you had like a Rust environment where you just had all of these guys, all these G.I. Joes, and all of this equipment, and then you spent the whole afternoon raging around in the dirt, building forts, driving your G.I. Joe tank around, grabbing different weapons, outfitting your guy like you would in Rust or one of these other FPSs. And then, you know, that was our version. It was really our version of an open sandbox, literally, game. Right? The 70s version of a game like Rust on the internet, G.I. Joe. Now, I don't have any of my stuff anymore. It's all been given away or sold or whatever. I do have one G.I. Joe thing, though. I wanted to show you guys this. Pretty cool. And because I flew, I don't know when I saw this. It must have been, this could be 20 years old. I don't know. It's got a number on the bottom. It's some kind of collector's item, but I don't know if it's, well, it's not special in any way other than it's special to me. But it's this thing right here. It's this diorama with two pilots. And one's shooting down his watch, talking to the other one. The other one's got a cup of coffee. And they're just hanging out on top of that AIM-9 Sidewinder. I always crack up when I look at it and think about it. The one guy's foot up on that Sidewinder. You know, if you're an ammo guy or a weapons guy, that's probably driving you crazy. That one of those guys is standing on the Sidewinder. But it's a great diorama. It's a G.I. Joe thing. Couple of pilots sitting around talking about the mission. I just love that thing. So that's my one little G.I. Joe collectible that's still hanging out in my office. So what has the collab done to hearken us back to think about all the glory days playing with G.I. Joes, and then of course the Cobra stuff was later on with the cartoons and things. I was aware of it, but older at that point, didn't really get into it too much. But I am definitely aware of the whole Cobra thing. I've seen it. My kids have seen it. And we get this great skin, 3D skin, that Wargaming and Hasbro have collabed together. And there's two of them. This is the first one I'm going to show you. And I'll show you a little bit of gameplay as well and how to get these things. But this really looks like a green plastic toy tank. You know, slightly upgraded with some cool stuff. If you look at it, the stickers look like stickers. You see that sticker? Looks no kidding like a sticker. Now watch this. Come over here. You can see the seam in the plastic right there, or what looks like plastic from the mold. It's just fantastic, man. It just really makes you feel like you're driving your GI Joe tank through the sandbox, man. I just love it. It's awesome. So it's a 3D skin though. There's nothing different. This is a TS5, which is a premium Tier 8 US casemate TD. So it's a skin that you can buy that goes on the tank. I'll show you how you can get these things in just a minute, if you already have it, or you can buy it with the skin. I'll show you that in just a second as well. There is no difference in stats, so this is just a TS5 with a skin, cool skin. Now the COBRA side of the house, because you always got to have COBRA these days. You know, when I was a kid, there was no COBRA. It was well, I won't get into who the enemy was, but I think, you know, if you're thinking about the generation raised by the greatest generation, it's probably pretty easy to come up with who you were fighting at that point. But the world moves on and we move on, and Hasbro came up with COBRA, right? The is it eponymous? Is that the word? I don't know. The standard bad guy, and Cobra Commander has no face, which is, I think, useful for for them. But we have a Cobra tank. Now Cobra, if you recall from what I've seen of them, they always have this kind of completely outlandish weapons system, right? It's all kinds of guns and lasers and bombs and rockets, and they have just all this weaponry, but they always get defeated by Joe. You know, because Joe is using the noggin at all times. You know what I'm saying? Joe is using the noggin. But check this out. The Cobra tank is on a T-54 first prototype. I think it's Mod 1. And that's just great. It just really looks like, again, a toy tank. You can see the seams, the stickers. You've got these extra guns sticking off of it. That's just classic G.I. Joe look right there. The little rockets on the back. I'm assuming this is where they drop off the oil and make G.I. Joe skid off as G.I. Joe's trying to chase him or something. Just fantastic. I like the black and the red. Really does like evoke the toy feel of a Cobra tank right there. Very cool. Very cool. All right, how do you get these things? Obviously over in the premium shop, what they've got are some bundles. You can buy both of them for, looks like 101. There's 7,500 gold added on top of that, plus the 2 skins. The skins are worth roughly $16. If you buy them separately, you can find them both down here, $15.99 for either one of those. Coupons are available on several of these if you do have a coupon, or you can buy just the TS or just the first prototype with the skin. So the skin's going to add a little price onto the base premium tank. I'm pretty sure I've got a review in my review playlist of the TS5. I don't know about the Mod 1. They're both pretty decent medium tanks. They're good, premium tanks. One's a medium, one's a casemate TD. So you can't go wrong as far as that premium vehicle goes with the skin on it. You're getting a pretty good vehicle and you're getting a really cool skin on top of that. So that was a good choice, I think, by Wargaming on which tanks to use. I think I like the TS5 better, although it is a casemate, than I do the Mod 1, but still the Mod 1 is a little more flexible because it's a medium tank, and medium tanks are just more flexible in the game. So that's where you can get those things and how much they cost. About, if you just want the separate ones, you're talking $9 and some change for the Cobra version, the T-54 Mod 1, and then $53.11 for the TS5. Let's take a look at these guys in action here. Yo, Joe. That's what I need to know. Is it Yo or Go? Maybe Hasbro can sing out and fix that. Or maybe they just like the controversy. I don't know. You would be amazed at how many hits I found when I said, is it Yo Joe or Go Joe? It's, I don't know, man. I like Yo. I'm going with Yo. Well, we'll start with Cobra Commander. He's you know, poor Cobra Commander. Always gets so close. You know, he always gets so close. You know, growing up in the 70s, we didn't have Cobra Commander quite yet. He didn't show up, I think, until the 80s or so. So we had to make up our own bad guys. G.I. Joe was so integral to my childhood in the 70s. My brother and I had multiple G.I. Joes, friends on the block. There were several years we were living on an Air Force base, so obviously every kid had some kind of G.I. Joe. And, you know, you just have these giant block parties, oh, Joe, you know what I'm saying? And the things we would do with those poor G.I. Joes. Put big parachutes on them and chuck them as high as we could and see if we could make the parachute open. My brother used to like to tie strings on their arms and swing them around like they were flying, like they were Superman. I told that story. We did that. I had a brand new GI Joe, brand new. I probably had it 10 minutes. My brother wanted to make it fly, right? Which we'd done hundreds of times with other GI Joes. But I didn't want him to do that. It's my brand new one, right? Because it did beat him up a little bit. Eventually, they started to come apart, and I'm like, "That's my new Joe. I don't want you to." But he did it anyway, of course. You know, big brothers, that's what they're for. And after about 3 swings, the arm comes off, which wasn't too unusual because it had those little sockets on there. And we're like, "All right, let's go put the arm back on." And when I got over there, the actual piece of plastic was broken inside the socket. Brand new. 10-minute-old G.I. Joe. No arm. So he was a wounded warrior for the rest of the time. But the whole G.I. Joe thing, just iconic for a 70s and 80s kid. So it's really cool to see these things come up. But they just really do look like toy tanks.
Penetration.
Thing about the T-54 Mod 1 within World of Tanks is it's got a pretty good turret. You can see I've already bounced 960. The depression's not fantastic. I'll show you what I'm doing with my camera here. We're trying to take these guys on. Got a lot of guys in the back. I'm gonna have a hard time trying to get rid of the super person that's up here, which is appropriately a United States tank. I did a little research while I was setting up this next video. It is, I think, Yo-Joe, because Wargaming has Yo-Joe as the catchphrase on one of the packages. So I like Yo-Joe because I start off all my videos with Yo, this is Guido. Something I say quite a bit, so there you go. That is what it is. So we're just trying to get old Cobra Commander to maybe get a win right here, but his team's already down 4. Poor Cobra Commander. If only he could get all those other guns firing all at the same time. But as you can see, just a really cool skin. Unfortunately, I'm driving into the bush. Rocking back and forth, looking for the bad guys. Oh boy, here comes somebody. I actually didn't see him. I'm trying to shoot the... Oh boy, got away from me. There he goes. That's a real Joe maneuver right there. That guy come racing through there. Very clever, G.I. Joe. Very, very clever. Trying to get a shot right into the little cheek area there on that super, but just missing. I think I get a crit damage in there on one of them. One of them hits, I think. Might be this one. Nope, ricochet. Trying to take this guy on. Things are going poorly for Cobra and Cobra Commander as they usually do. There we go. We finally get a little shot in on the hero there. We'll just fast forward this a bit because, you know, as I was talking about this and streaming it, I was reminded that that's not a weak spot, by the way. I found that out. I was reminded that Cobra always gets so close to winning, doesn't he? He's always on the cusp, Cobra Commander and his men, of defeating Joe. They're just about there. Forward, look at this. Look at this, still trying to fight. I think right here I decide to go. There we go. Cobra's going for the win, right? He's going to come on in here. Oh, guy's backing out. All right, oh, G.I. Joe, he's going to have to go after him. On the cusp of winning. Here we go, making the bold move. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Oh, what's this? He's about to win? Cobra Commander's just about to win. No, he's not. He's completely alone, and he's going to get one more shot in. And that is the end of our not hero, Cobra Commander. Alright, let's take a look at the TS5. Here's the TS5 with the G.I. Joe skin. Look at this thing. Nice sunny day. Driving the mighty TS5. We're just going to go at this T30 and see what we can do. T30 weak spot on the top. A little thump on him. 433. Very nice. And that's what you really like about the TS tank. And this right there. The TS5. As an assault TD, it's pretty darn good. Reloads pretty quickly. Just sneak right in there. Put another shot on that guy.
Enemy armor is damaged.
And it looks like we're in the driver's seat here. But another Joe shows up. Oh, Joe on Joe combat. There we go.
Penetration.
There we go. So your buddy just showed up in the sandbox with the same tank. Remember when you were doing that when you were a kid? And you didn't have a computer to figure out who hit who and what happened. So it was always the, I shouldn't say argument. Let's call it a discussion about who hit who, right? No, you didn't kill me. You didn't kill me. Your shot didn't hit me. I'm still alive. I have a medic. You know, all the rules you made up, that was the best part, wasn't it? You just made rules up as required.
Enemy is hit.
It's like if you needed a rule to help you, you made one up. New rule, there's a medic. Oh no, no medic is going to save me from the artillery. How rude. That is rude, isn't it? That is so rude. The G.I. Joe tank blown up by artillery. I bet there was a COBRA guy firing that. Alright, let's wrap this up, guys. Well, alright, guys, get out there and get that COBRA Commander tank, your T-54 Mod 1, or maybe grab the TS-5, the Green Army tank, G.I. Joe. Relive those iconic halcyon days, right? The halcyon days of those 1970s, in the sandbox, driving your green plastic tanks around. Do you remember the big carrier? The big carrier was the thing I wanted. I never had a big carrier. That was cool. But for those of you who have stuck around this long, we are going to give away a TS5 skin and a mod T-54 Mod 1 skin. So we're going to give away one COBRA tank and one G.I. Joe tank. Leave a comment down in the comments. If you have a good memory about G.I. Joe, throw that in there. But really all I need is a comment of some kind. I'll pick 2 winners out of those comments and send that gift your way. Unfortunately, I cannot do it for EU because I cannot give a gift on EU with my credit card without anything actually except for PaySafe or PlaySafe or whatever it's called, which I am not going to do that. So apologies, NA only for that, but leave a comment down below. That doesn't mean you can't leave a comment if you're EU, but the only way to win is to be NA. That's all I've got for today. Thanks for coming by. Have a good Monday. See ya.